Is it true that men are less attractive to successful women?
If you show a man a photograph of a woman who's dressed like a CEO and she's gorgeous, and you show a man a picture of a woman who's dressed like a Burger King service, person, and she's drop dead gorgeous, men are going to find her similarly attractive in both conditions. It doesn't matter. The woman can be doing, it doesn't matter what the woman is doing. And there's been research that shows this. They'll show men and women photographs of people in different types of outfits. And the men's ratings of how attractive the women are has just everything to do with how attractive the women are. For women rating men, it all depends on what they're wearing, right? Do they show cues to resource access? Do they not show cues to resource access? And women tend to modulate how physically attractive they find men based on whether or not they have these cues related to provisioning ability.
YouTube, Simba Savvy, back again with another video for you guys. What makes us attracted to someone as men and as women? Come on, guys, we got a banger today. Before we do that, hit me with the HBO special, the Help a Brother Out special. Like, comment, and subscribe. That's how the channel is gonna grow. Before we wasting more of your time, let's get into our video topic.
That the kinds of qualities that you find, just really attractive in another person that make you feel so attracted to them might be cues that they are a really compatible mate for you. And maybe that's why you have a very sort of you-specific response to that person. But there are also dimensions that are shared, right? So we know, for example, that men tend to place a greater emphasis relative to women on cues related to physical attractiveness. And that physical attractiveness tends to be related to things that have historically been related to fertility, right? So for example, having an hourglass body shape, we know that this is something that's related to a woman's level of sex hormones, and that women with higher levels of estrogen, for example, are more likely to put on fat around their butt and their thighs and less likely to put on fat around their waist, relative to women with higher or lower levels of estrogen, right? As estrogen levels decline when women age, their bodies become more straight up and down than they do hourglass. And this has to do with changes in estrogen. And
Men are attracted to women of a certain body type. Listen, yes, there are other factors that go into attraction, like compatibility, depending on what you're looking for. If it's short term or long term, if someone is looking for a wife, cultural values are gonna play a role. Their type of life is gonna play a role, right? But there are certain generalities that people try to argue and say, oh, they don't matter, or try to ignore. But the thing about life is, if you ignore the realities of this world is not a perfect world. Human beings are not perfect. If you ignore them, you're gonna suffer by extension, because life is what it is. If you are broke and you get sick, it's gonna be hard to get you health care, for example, right? So if you are a woman and you are here being delusional, talking about, oh, I have this amount of money and this lifestyle, and you're fat, you're gonna struggle in dating, right? But the woman that is clever, is in the gym, taking care of their beauty, dressing well, they have a better chance, because men are very visual. And taking care of your body is one of the first things that you should be doing as a woman. Character, tradition, all these other things do come into play. Being compatible with the type of guy that you want, fair and fine, but your beauty comes number one. Let's continue.
And so we know that that's something that men generally desire to a greater extent than women, right? We also know that men tend to place a greater emphasis on cues related to youthfulness, right? So the cues that are related to maturity in a face, that's something that women tend to have a heightened preference for. So if somebody has sort of an older face, they tend to be seen as more attractive. Like 50-year-old George Clooney seems more attractive. Most women think that looks more attractive than, 25-year-old George Clooney. And we see that because our brains have inherited this tendency to find cues related to wisdom and status and resource acquisition, all of which come with greater age. Women have inherited that preference for those kinds of qualities, because that would have given them a mating-related advantage relative to preferring a more youthful face. Conversely,
so women love older men. Oh my God. The funny part about social media and the internet age is that men are shamed for their preferences in women, whereas women are praised for their preferences in men. So if a woman says, oh, I want a rich guy, the rich guys tend to come older. There's very few, if barely none, 22-year-old millionaires. The guys that are going to come with the resources are older men. And that is how it's been since the beginning of time. So women are evolved to be attracted to certain aging features or mature features in men, because most likely those type of men are going to come with certain things that they are attracted to. Resource finding. Since the beginning of time, men who have more resources are going to be older men who have more experience. Wisdom is going to come from an older man. Maturity is going to come from an older man. Protection is going to come from an older man. If we even talk of ancient times, even navigation of the area, if we talk about migrating, running away from a war, an older man is going to know an area from experience, right? So your likelihood to survive as a woman was to be with an older man. Men, on the other hand, are attracted to younger women, which is what she's going to explain just now. Let's continue.
For men, they would have been penalized if they had a preference for maturity in the face of a potential partner. Because if you like women who have signs of maturity and wisdom and resource acquisition ability, you'd probably choose somebody who's approaching menopause, right? And that's not going to lead to any gene transmission at all, right? And so we tend to see that men have a heightened preference for cues related to youthfulness in faces. And so even though, yes, there are differences between individuals, and there is some idiosyncrasy that tends to characterize human mate choice, there are a lot of things that we can actually make some pretty strong predictions about too. So there are some overall themes that tend to characterize men's and women's partner preferences.
This is what mainstream media tries to run away. Mainstream media has tried to program our generation through movies and celebrity rhetoric that, oh, as a woman, you need to have a career. That's what's going to make you attractive. Listen, having a career, there's nothing wrong with having a career as a goal. But if you think that's going to make you more attractive to men, you're lying to yourself. Taking care of your beauty is number one. And there's all this shaming language to shift people from a certain reality of the world. So the shaming language can be, oh, men sexualize women and men do this. Listen, there are men who are sick in the head, I get it. But men are attracted to youth. Because men, the reason why men work hard to provide, protect, and all these things is to start a family and to replicate their genes. Who are they most likely to be able to replicate their genes? They have a better chance to replicate their genes through a younger woman who is more fertile, right? And if we talk of sexual attraction, men are going to be attracted to a younger woman. She has the best features. Halle Berry at 40 whatever is not as attractive as Halle Berry at 22. Beyonce at whatever age she is today is not as attractive as Beyonce when she was 20. But that Beyonce who got with Jay-Z at such a young age will sell this dream to women to be career women and focus on their careers. She didn't focus on her career first. She focused on marriage. A lot of these celebrities lie to girls. The outcomes of celebrities are so different from the normal person. As a normal person, you need to know how the world functions. It's uncomfortable. I wish girls liked 5'5" guys. They really don't. They want 6' guys. I really wish girls were so in love with broke men. They are not. So as a man, what do? I have to work hard to be resourceful. I can't change my height, but I can be strong and get in the gym if I want to compete on the dating market. Because guess what? If I sit down and talk about, oh, women are delusional and all their standards and all these things, you know who's going to win? All the guys that are 6 foot tall. If I sit down and just look and say, oh, the world is such a terrible place and wish for a perfect world, you know what's going to happen? Who's going to win? The resourceful guys, the guys that are working hard for their resources, they're going to get the best girls. So as a girl, if you're delusional and you literally use your beauty to be a literal girl for the streets, running around with useless guys, thinking that you're going to be beautiful forever, talking about this celebrity rhetoric and TikTok language, reality is going to strike you at 35. When your beauty is not there, when you're not getting the same attention anymore, you're not getting the same likes that you used to get on your Instagram posts, and now you want a serious relationship, reality is going to strike you. Unfortunately, reality tends to strike guys there and there. If a man is not working hard, you're going to know. If your game is lame, you're going to know, because girls are just going to reject you. Whereas as a girl, you can get away with delusion because you're beautiful. You're still going to go on dates. Your worldview can be very flawed, but when it comes to the repercussions in dating, you're not going to feel it until the beauty fades and guys don't have to lie to you anymore. That's when you're going to be like, what? I'm lonely. Oh, I need a man and I want him to be 6 foot tall. That's what I'm used to. I need him to be successful. And guess what? All those attractive men, where are they going to be? They're going to be looking at the younger girls. So I encourage girls to get married younger. Leave the casino while your chips are still up, because that's when you have the most leverage. And I believe dating is all about leverage. A man is going to have his leverage when he has gathered resources, when he's strong, being in the gym, when he's wise. So if a man gets married later on in life, he has the most options at that point in his life than when he was 20, because when he was 20, no one wanted him. He was too broke. He was too timid. He didn't have leadership qualities. He was a nice guy. He was not well versed. He didn't have any sexual experiences, which are things that women treasure. So if a man waits and builds that, he's going to have a lot of options. For the first time in his life, he's going to have girls chasing him. A woman is the opposite. When you are young, your DMs are full. So it's up to you. Let's continue.
Is it true that men are less attractive to successful women? Is there any sort of evolutionary basis for that?
I do know that research finds that men don't place as much of a priority on that compared to women. But I don't know that they penalize them exactly, right? If you show a man a photograph of a woman who's dressed like a CEO and she's gorgeous, and you show a man a picture of a woman who's dressed like a Burger King service, person, and she's drop dead gorgeous, men are going to find her similarly attractive in both conditions. It doesn't matter. Woman could be doing, it doesn't matter what the woman is doing. And there's been research that shows this. They'll show men and women photographs of people in different types of outfits. And the men's ratings of how attractive the women are has just everything to do with how attractive the women are. For women rating men, it all depends on what they're wearing, right? Do they show cues to resource access? Do they not show cues to resource access? And women tend to modulate how physically attractive they find men based on whether or not they have these cues related to provisioning ability. So I don't know if there was a really attractive, and there are a lot of really attractive females in positions of power, men will find them just as attractive as they do somebody who's not in a position of power, although they may be, potentially less likely to choose them as a long-term mate, if there's issues related to power dynamics and that sort of thing that they don't want to mess with.
This is just the truth. If you are beautiful as a girl, it doesn't matter what career you are in. Men are going to find you attractive. So girls try to give these examples about, Beyonce and Jay-Z are a power couple. When Beyonce got with Jay-Z, she was 20 or something. She was beautiful. She's beautiful even up to today. Sawati, I don't know what her name is. She's beautiful. Look at all these girls try to give examples of women who are very attractive. Rihanna, it's not about the music. She's beautiful. Even if she worked at KFC, guys would still want her. If you show a girl a guy, you show them a me in KFC, they're going to be like, most girls are going to be like, nah. But if you show myself in a suit, nice tailored suit, in a very beautiful office, showing that I'm a CEO in board meetings, women are likely more to, because it screams resources, it screams a good life, it screams he can take care of my children, it screams he can take care of me. Women are attracted to men who can provide and provision and protect them. Men are attracted to beauty because men are more about replication. They want to have children. So a younger, beautiful woman is going to give them the best kids. It's going to be more fertile than an older woman. So with women, your career is not going to be a factor when it comes to dating. That's a painful reality, that because of all the lies that women have been told since I don't know when, through social media, that somehow their career is going to make them get a very high status man. Trust and believe me, all that shit doesn't matter. Guys say it because they just want to appease to a woman's ego. If you got game, you got to appease to a woman's ego. If she's an accountant, oh wow, I love accountants. If she's broke, oh wow, I like taking care of women. That's how guys run game, because the guys have realized that telling the truth triggers women. And once a woman is triggered, she's not going to want to sleep with you. And what's a guy's first agenda when he meets a girl? Is normally he's trying to get in her pants at the end of the day. You want a perfect world. It does not exist, my dear sister. So that's my advice for you today. If you are triggered, this may not be the channel. Some of the things that I talk about, I know I break your heart sometimes, but I just want people to live in truth, know how the world functions. It's not a perfect world. Listen, we are all beautiful in the eyes of God, but we are not dating God. We are dating human beings, and human beings are flawed. Human beings are going to tend to lean a certain way biologically and whatever, right? So you got to know how a human being moves if you want to win in this world. If you want to talk about the spiritual realm, that's another story for another day. I'm not a pastor. Till my next video, I'm out.